Okay.
All right, sir. Thank you for the opportunity, sir. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
This
afternoon.
afternoon has been our weekend, stars. So I'll be moderating this afternoon, and I would like to apologize to everyone. Our speaker will not be around due to some one reason or the other. So today, concerning our topic, we'll be going on to questions and answers. We'll be going on to questions and answers, and I really want every one of us to uh, participate, to input our thoughts and questions, and if it is a particular discussion that you want us to discuss, then you can also share it. You can also share it, and uh, for we that were here, I want us to kindly introduce ourselves. We can unmute our mic and kindly introduce ourselves. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Yes, I said we can kindly introduce ourselves,
Okay,
starting
I'm
with
Emmanuel Damsu, convener, Real Boys Forum.
all right. We have Mr. Bankole. Is he there? Mr. Bankole?
He can chat too if he's not able to speak.
Okay. And hello, Mr. John Ovi. All right. Uh,
Good morning. I'm here. Good morning.
okay, okay.
Oh, sorry, afternoon.
Yeah, we are already in the afternoon. So, concerning work-life and balance, now everyone here is kind of into one thing or the other, and there are times that we do find ourselves in a situation uh, whereby we tend to pursue our ambitions. That is, maybe we tend to uh, place our ambitions ahead of us, and then at that stage, balancing relationships and also working out may not be easy. So I would like every one of us to share, especially our daddies here, that to share how they have been doing it. First of all, before we even move to the question and answer, that how have they been balancing it? How have they combined the working aspects with their relationships, especially with families? Yes, families, immediate families, and the distant relatives. How have they be able? Is it that during that process they just decide to work, and then after a while, after they now see that they are free, they will come back to family? And I'd like to share this. There was this particular cousin I had back then while he was still pursuing his goals, working and doing all sorts. It's like the family could not reach him at that particular point in time. Like they're like, this man is he doesn't neglect every family. Everyone was like, he doesn't neglect everybody, and do this and that, not even asking of anybody at that time. So later, and after that period, I think everything worked out well for him. And then back again, people have forgotten that a person neglect them at a particular time, point in time. Now, is it that we can, like, let me ask, as a young person, uh, in our, maybe in our uh, time, working out our ambitions, is it right? Like, is it right to do such things, like go all along with your work, and then at that particular time have little or no time for families, and then when you see everything is getting a form of balance, then come back. They come back to try and balance relationships and all that. Uh, I will start with our convener, Mr. Doctor. Sorry, sir, Doctor Emmanuel. To
Yeah,
kindly
like
share
I don't
on.
care about titles. You should know that already. So don't stress yourself out. If you find
Okay, sir.
anything hard, just call
Okay,
me
sir.
EJD and I'm good. In fact, I think Mr.
Okay,
John should help us out. Like we like to hear his perspective because he deals with mental health and things like that. I know this might be his forte to.
okay.
Do you have an insight into this?
Hello.
Yeah,
Did you hear what I
pardon.
said?
I didn't really get. Yeah, I'm here, but I didn't really get what we are discussing earlier. I just
Okay.
thought maybe I was listener. So please, if the
Okay.
moderator can just rule again for me, please.
Oh, okay. So
Okay.
sorry about that.
What we are
Okay.
discussing is about balancing work and relationship. Balancing our work and the relationship. There are times that our work take most of our times, and then we tend to neglect some kinds of relationship, maybe family, distant relatives, friends, and at that particular time, the people around us we feel like maybe we are wicked. Yes, especially we Yoruba sometimes when people face their work squarely and then not having time for people, they be like, ọmọ yẹn má bàjẹ́ like kò kàn tiẹ̀ béèrè anybody. So they will see it as a form of disrespect. People do see it as a form of disrespect. So I was sharing about a story about a particular cousin that had to face his work squarely at a particular time because he was into NGO and the people were unable to reach him. Even his family sometimes they seldomly reach him. But later in life, I think he later got to balance everything, whereby he has to uh, balance the work and the relationship aspect. Now, what I'm trying to say is that is it like when as a young man as a young man growing, is it right to put to work in such a path, or if you are trying to work out your work or trying to work out your ambition, is it also possible to also balance both the relationship aspect and the work aspect together, not neglecting any of it, or we should just face one squarely and then maybe later then we can come back and do the relationship aspect or balance the relationship aspect with the work.
Okay.
Sir, hope you
I
got
got
me,
that.
sir.
Yeah, I did. Thank you very much for that. And I would like to speak from a personal perspective on this topic.
Okay, sir.
And while I'm speaking on the personal perspective, I want to use myself as a case study, and I want to talk about practical things that is working. Yeah. So
Okay,
now, if you look at our lifestyle as a human being, when you bring it to the issue of being healthy, so
yes, sir.
it's not about being healthy. You have to talk about being healthy socially. You have to talk about being healthy medically, mentally. You have to talk about being healthy financially. You have to talk about being healthy uh, uh, in everything you do, in everything that concerns you. That is when you have a balanced lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle. That is when everything that you are involved in is working simultaneously at the same time. Yes, this can be a bit difficult. This can be a bit challenging, but I can tell you that as a young man that is growing, for instance, I work 9 to 5. It's not even 9 to 5. I work 8 to 6, and at the same time, I have a family. At the same time, I have a skill that I do for extra source of income. At the same time, I have a passion I have something I'm passionate about, which is mental health that I do advocacy for. So now, if you look at, and at the same time, I have my relationship with my friends, my wife, my family, my mom, my siblings, and also with God. And what do I do is that I prioritize every of these things at the same time. I do not say, okay, because my 8 to 6 is the one giving me financial security, then I should neglect my side also that is bringing me some extra income. Now, I would not say that because I have these things that I do, then what I do for passion, what I'm passionate about, which is mental health advocacy, I should not carry it along. Now, because of these things I do also, I try to bring in a balance between my relationship with my friends, my relationship with my wife, my relationship with even God. And I can tell you that yes, it can be draining as a young man. It can be. But what works for me is that I prioritize things according to their importance. For instance, as I'm sitting right here speaking on this thing, I have other things to do. But I remember that yes, I've said it in my mind that I want to join this meeting. So when I saw the link on the group, I quickly rushed through everything I have to do at this moment. And okay, this can wait, this can wait, this can wait. Let me quickly attend to this, then I'll come back to this. So as a young man, I would say that it is very important for you to find balancing between everything you do. You will realize that if you prioritize one and you neglect the other, the vacuum that one will create, you will meet it in the front. It's natural. It is natural. And at the end of the day, you realize that even you won't have happiness, fulfillment at the end of the day if you decide to pick one over one. So what is important is finding a balance between everything you do, finding a balance between work and my passion, which is within for you, finding a balance between my passion and my soft skill that bring in extra income, finding a balance between my family and my relationship with God, finding the balance between my friends too. So it is very, very important to find that balancing. And what really works for me when it comes to finding this balancing is prioritization. I prioritize things. At this moment, what is important? Oh, my wife needs me. Oh, at the same time that my wife needs me. Oh, my I have a deadline to also meet. Oh, at the same time that I have a deadline to also meet. Oh, there's a family engagement somewhere that also needs my attention. So what I do is I set priorities. I set priorities. Okay, which of these things is important? Which one requires my presence? Which one requires my time? Which one requires just my support? And this support could be in any form. This support could be in form of finance. This support could be in form of just a phone call. This support could be in form of anything. So when I do these priorities and I just set them into play, and again, one thing again that really works for me from a personal perspective is that I am an open book for everybody. I'm an open book. I don't keep secrets from people. If I'm dealing with you in any relationship in any form, I want to be an open book. So that when I tell you that I cannot meet up with something, you will understand that yes, Ovi cannot meet up because Ovi asked this, and this to do. If you need my help as a friend and I cannot come through for you, I want to be open on why I cannot come through for you at this particular time because I have something which is on my priority that is clashing with what you need me to do and I can't come through. So I think, and this openness has to come with communication. It has to come with communication because if you do not communicate, you don't have a good communication skill to be able to, okay, no, this is what this is. I can say yes to this. I can say no to this. I can accept this. I cannot take this. I can take this. Then I feel like you won't be able to have a balancing. And also another beautiful thing that works for me is setting boundaries. I set boundaries. You are my friend. This is my family. There's a boundary between it. My 8 to 6 and my soft skill, there's a boundary between it. My advocacy and my relationship with God, there's a boundary between it. My relationship with my siblings and my mom and my wife, there's a boundary between it. So when you set these boundaries and you make people to understand these boundaries and you communicate it in clear terms to people, it will also help you to be able to maintain a balanced life. And one thing I always say always to people that in all these things that you do, always put yourself first. I tell people always, my wife knows if anything happens here, I want to put myself first because it is me first. It is my mental health first. It is my well-being first. What I don't have, I cannot give you. If I don't have happiness, I can't give you happiness. If I don't have joy, I can't give you joy. If I don't have money, I can't give you money. What I don't have, I can't give to you. So I try to set these boundaries and I prioritize myself first. So if if 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things are on my table and I am trying to set the priority table, I put myself as number one. Yes, every other thing is important. That is true. But it is when I am alive, it is when I am healthy, it is when I can write, it is when I can think, it is when I can talk, it is when I am fine that I can do all this and I can attend to them. So I wouldn't say that because I want to please Mr. A or I want to please Mr. B, then I should do it at the detriment of my own well-being. No. So with a clear boundary, with open communications, even if it is not pleasing to these people around you, even if it is going to come with a whole lot of inconvenience for them, but because you are open, but because they know that yes, you've set boundaries that people should not cross, then it will help you to maintain a healthy and balanced life. So I think from a personal perspective, and this is what is working for me. Yes, it is working for me. It may not work for you. That is the truth. So I always encourage people to look at your life, set your boundaries, look at what works for you, set your priorities, and communicate it clearly to people. Communicate it clearly to people. Someone, like for instance, if you need me to help you write a speech, for instance, and at the time you need me to write a speech, I have a deadline to meet. I want to tell you why I cannot write your speech, and I want to tell you the reason behind it. It's not you just come and say, "Oh no, I cannot write it for you." Then the person begins to think a whole lot of things in the head. Oh no, I cannot write this speech for you because I have a design deadline that I need to submit by 8 p.m. If your speech would wait, if your speech can wait till 10, then fine, I can help you to do it. That is communication. And with that, I think it can help a whole lot of us to maintain a healthy and a balanced lifestyle. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir. Initially, I had wanted to ask a different question, but as I see you going further, I could see that the question I wanted to ask, you were answering it. And starting from the point where you said that you are an open book, I think that should be the first thing a person should have. It should be an open book. Let people understand you, because if you are not an open book, there will be some disposition people will have about you, which may not be true, and then you're now trying to balance it at the end of the day. They may not seem to believe you. Just like you said, when you have a deadline and then a person is asking you to do something else and then you are trying to explain. So I think that place should come from the place of an open book. Open book. So if you don't have an open book, uh, relationships sometimes may not be easy to balance. That's number one. That's number one aspect of it. And then another thing I wanted to ask is you have really touched that is the part of a mental capacity. Talking from your own personal experience, some people may not have the mental strength uh, 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 to do things the way you do, except except they go it one at a time, except they do it one at a time. Yeah, some people prefer it one at a time. That, oh no, that I cannot be doing this and be doing that. But I think the solution which you provide is the prioritization technique, the prioritization method, that is which is urgent, that requires your presence, the one that is not urgent, and the one that do not really require some process. Because there are some things that if it's not prioritized, you just see yourself breaking down. So there are many things that it doesn't really require your presence, that maybe some delegation would have helped, or some that you don't even need to be there at all. Yeah, prioritization techniques. I love that the way is in balancing relationship. That will goes a long way if somebody that take a prioritization techniques into such. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, it is a pleasure and it is a pleasure to be here too.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if I
Yes,
might cut in, I don't know if I can say this here. I'm excited. Mr. John Ovidio sent his wedding ivy June 21st, 2025, Whispering Palms Badagry. I wish I'll be around to attend it. Whispering Palms in particular is such a lovely ambience. Congratulations in advance, Mr. John Ovi.
Wow, thank you
Congratulations,
very
sir.
much.
This is lovely.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you
and
very
God has
much.
blessed you with the roots, and we know roots that they follow their husband everywhere.
In fact, this one is Jingomi. That's the truth.
You go fair now. Congratulations, God will perfect everything concerning it.
Amen. Amen. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
back to the topic. Yeah. All right, so let's can we share this in the group?
Of course,
Yes, sir.
please. Of course.
Yeah,
It
okay,
will be a pleasure to
we
have
are going to do
everybody
that.
around.
Yeah,
Thank you,
I think we
sir.
need to put a structure around, like a lot of people have been getting married, they're having kids. I think we need to be more, we are gradually getting better. We need to have a structure around some of these things as we go on, because I mean, these are the things they're encouraging and all that. And we're very glad that a lot of people are, getting into the flow. Yeah, back to the question, right? Lately I've been hearing people all around saying things like, "Oh, there's really nothing like work-life balance. The only thing is that just do if something needs your attention, do it, and then go back." And I'm beginning to see to that really, like, the only thing is that we just need to be intentional. There are times that your family has to sacrifice, just like the example you gave, right? The key, okay, for instance, if you ask some of my family members, I don't call, like they will tell you that I don't call people and things like, but I know, number one, if you want to be financially prudent, so you can't be calling everybody, because if I don't make any call that doesn't make sense, then of course maybe I also have this funny upbringing where everybody is just doing his own thing, and I'm trying to get better in that regard. But just like you talked about prioritization, right? As far as for me, in my life, the number one person is God. Then the second person is my wife, not even my nuclear family now. The number two person is my wife after God. Then number three will be my children. Then number four, or I can now begin to maybe I can now maybe say work. Then after that I can begin, or maybe not. Maybe after number four I can say extended family. And even the extended family, there is also priority, father, mother, and people that really contributed a lot to my growing up, right? Because you can spread yourself all over the place, and at the end of the day, you are inefficient. And that's why I really like, the fact that Mr. Ovi actually talks about, being sure you're in the right mental space to help. You don't want to help and break down. You don't want to help people or pour yourself into something too much. At the end of the day, you come out of it. For instance, I know a little bit about doing PhD, right? And so many people enter into a PhD program and they come out damaged. They either come out with high blood pressure, or they come out and they lose control of their lives. Everybody's calling them doctor, but they can't even enjoy the PhD they have. They cannot really get the best out of it. So I think, of course, I know as the conversation goes on, a lot of clarity will still come. So I mean, what I'm basically establishing here is that technically, right, it may be difficult to say, oh, I balance work and family and this well, but the thing is, there are some structures. As far as work is concerned, you have your KPIs that, okay, I need to do this and do this and do this. Once that is done, work is sorted. Then when it comes to family too, my wife needs my attention as much as possible. So and there are KPIs. So I think maybe I'm bringing it down to this too, that maybe it also ties up with the prioritization thing, right? Like for every aspect of your life that matters, you want to write down the top 5 areas of your life that matter, and be sure you service those things. They have their KPIs. You know that, oh, okay, my wife needs my attention in this area. I need to be available for my kids in this area. I need to go to school and pick them up, take them to school, bring them back, and do all that. And I shouldn't be so engrossed in work that I forget to do that. If I'm going to forget, then if I'm going to get busy and I'm not able to do it, I'll already have informed my wife ahead of time. So no emergencies. So all of these things. So while they may not be like, while you may pay attention to something more at a point in time, you may which, and it may not look like balance. At the end of the day, you want to be sure that every aspect that matters to you are not failing. I think that will be my own summary, but I know there'll be more light into this because you have many people who have at different stages of life, and they can really help with their light. So over to you, Mr. Moderator. Hello, Mr. Israel. Is it only me? Hope everybody's hearing.
Yes, we can hear
Yes,
you. I
sir.
think
Yes,
Mr.
sir. We can hear you, sir.
I think Mr. Israel is having a network
Okay,
issue.
before he comes, oh,
I
thank
think
you. Before he comes up, David is raising his hand. I call him Dr. David Aigbodion. I like to call everybody Dr. Steph. Maybe I should start calling everybody Doctor here too.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. INEC Chairman.
Hello, sir. I
Yeah.
raised my that I could hear you.
You said what?
Said I raised my hand to signify I could hear you.
Ah, okay. And now you have the floor. I know you've been battling with a lot lately, your academics, being INEC chairman in your department and everything. How did you do that?
Well, I'll not say I succeeded. I'm not going to say I succeeded in managing everything properly because at some point, it was not easy. But one thing I want to actually know is motivation, because sometimes the interest is not always there to do some certain things. So
Yes.
there's this at times there's a driving force that makes us to study, while
True.
sometimes there's a driving force that makes us to work. They're always driving
Mm.
force. Not in as much as we try to remove that driving force. Like I was reading a novel and I was talking about Beethoven. So Beethoven was not just like he was just interested in music. Something drove him. I think from the book that I read that time, they said it was for his this thing. He wanted to go to someone or something. He was angry about, like he hated what people did to him. That was what drove him to create those kind of music. So what I'm just trying to say is that no matter how we try to do consistency and focus, there have to be a driving force. And sometimes I feel I lose that driving force and I don't know what to do. I'm so weak and I don't know what to do. So my question is, how can we maintain this, drive, this eager to do these things?
Yeah, but I mean, I want to throw back a question to you. I know we've had some engagement in the past couple of weeks, right? Like how there was a place you were at before we had our engagement, and right at some point things got better. What was that thing for you? What made the situation better?
What actually made the situation better was that I actually wanted to do these things. So at some point I could not do them. And when I started doing them, there was this joy and derivation.
So what made you? I think the question is, what made you do them? What made you regain your drive, your motivation to get things done when you couldn't do that at some point?
Well, I was interested in doing them. Yeah, actually wanted to do them, so I couldn't do them. Then from some little motivation and support I got from you, I was able to do them. Yeah, because that's what I
Yeah,
actually want to do. That's what I want to live my life in a focused, orderly way and everything.
yeah. The answer I'm actually expecting is that, I mean, when we looked at the situation together, I discovered that sometimes you know what you want to do, but saying that I want to do this at this time can give you a little bit of boost. So it's more like that, okay, normally I should read this particular course, right? And I just know I should read, but I know I should read this course. It's different from I know I should read this course at 2 p.m. That adding 2 p.m. to it adds an extra layer of motivation. And that is why that one thing I've always preached, even right from as an undergraduate, is have a timetable for your life from when you wake up in the morning to when you sleep. Of course, nobody's saying that there's no guarantee that you'll be able to stick to it, but it serves as a kind of check for you that, oh, you have this KPI that I wake up at 2 a.m. I pray from I pray from 5 to 6. If you don't pray from you may not pray from 5 to 6 every day, but if you don't do it, you already know that, oh, I had that KPI which I didn't fulfill. So tomorrow you don't want even the fact that you didn't do it today. So tomorrow you don't want to repeat that until it becomes your habit, right? So I think having I think everything is coming down to that prioritization and having a key performance index, so to speak. Like, you have performed well today. If you tick everything you have on your timetable. KPI is key performance index. I think it's used in the in the workplace most times. Like, okay, you have a role as maybe you have a role as a UI UX designer for an advertising company, and they expect you to make 5 designs every week. So if you make 4 designs, it means you have not met up with your key performance index. So something like that. So I think all of us want to sit down to say, oh, how can I say that I have really done well? And I am, when you do well, you're happy, you are satisfied that, oh yes, it's more like as a mathematician, right? When you see a problem that looks difficult, by the time you are done solving it, you are very happy with yourself that yes, I did this. And I know that's how it is in every work. Like maybe you're organizing a conference and the conference went well. You are very happy that yes, the conference I planned for 500 people, 600 people ended up coming. We had a very good problem of creating extra space for 100 people. So by the time it's all done, you are very happy with yourself. So I think sometimes not having something to look forward to or something against which you can compare your performance will not really make you rate what you are doing properly. Does that make any sense?
Yes, sir. It makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of
Okay.
sense. Yes, sir.
Okay, Israel's note as the same person as our moderator, right? Is Israel's note taker different from
Hello.
Israel Obushola? Is it the same person?
No, it's not. It's not different. It's not different.
Oh, it's you. Okay. So I have something. How can we
Yes, sir.
effectively set boundaries and communicate openly to maintain a healthy work-life balance? I mean, I'll keep referring to the first intervention by Mr. Ovi, right? Like that it talks about prioritizing. And I think one problem very nice people like us can have is that we don't know how to say no. I've had that issue a lot of times. Like we don't know how to say no. You just want to say yes to everybody. You want to please everybody. If you please everybody, you have options. You need to create a balance. So some of us want to be nice, want to be seen as nice people or something. And at the end of the day, we end up hurting ourselves seriously. So you want to be able to say no. Okay, yeah, these are even answers. Sorry. How can we effectively set boundaries and communicate openly to maintain a healthy work-life balance? To effectively set boundaries and maintain a healthy work-life balance, prioritize your relationships and commitments with clear hierarchy. Oh, okay, that's what I said. God, spouse, children. I mean, God, wife or husband, clearly important because some people, once they begin to have children, they begin to focus on the children and they focus and they forget the wife now becomes like inferior to the children. And I think that's one thing we should all watch out for, especially as young people now getting married. So I remember when we had our first child, when I got to the hospital, I was on a trip actually. So I had to cut short my trip to return to Akure. So when I got to the hospital, I wasn't even bothered about the baby because I knew, of course, I was just knowing the baby, right? So it was my wife I was looking for first. Like, hey, is this girl in shape? Like, is she okay? So before we can now begin to talk about the baby. So like, I think there's that temptation most time when kids coming. Now, have you ever noticed? I think I've written about this before. Have you ever noticed that you have people who have been married after 25 years? You just hear that these people are breaking up, or after 30 years they are breaking up. Well, there may be different reasons, right? And of course, top of the reasons I've also talked about before, there are things like things surrounding number one. Well, I don't know. Yeah, communication. Yeah, if you want to reduce all the problem to one thing, it's communication. Because most times the wife expect that you should know this thing. The husband expect that is it not common sense that you should do this? And as a result of that, everything breaks down. So when we're having that issue at first, I was like, see, I am not a witch. I mean, you are not a witch and I'm not a wizard. If you think I'm not doing something, don't assume that I'm just not doing it because I don't know. Until you have said it clearly and I fail to do it, don't conclude. Because sometimes as a man, there are things you are not seeing that women are seeing. So I'm a very practical person. I'm not in for, and that's why I can now even marry any Indomie person. Like all these people that will be expecting, like somebody came and the person was like, "Oh, I wanted to tell you something before I will not tell you again." I'm like, "Okay, good, thank you." So, but actually, the person was expecting me to say, please now, tell me now." I don't do that. I don't do that rubbish. So, Ajombul is laughing because he knows what I'm talking about. So if you have something to say, say it. If you don't want to say it again, fine. Of course, maybe that works. If you are that kind of man that can also play along with that, please feel very free. But if you're expecting me to come and be servicing your emotion, like please now, Joe, tell me now. Okay, I'll send 25K to your account so you can tell me. I beg. I know they do that kind of thing. So so we learned to communicate very clearly that, oh, please, instead of saying, didn't you know you should do this, you can just let me know. Like, I'm willing. I'm not an African husband, by the way, so I'm willing to to go to any length to make sure everything works out well. So communicate transparently. Yeah, you have even mentioned it about your limitations and reasons. For example, if you can't complete a task, explain why and when you might be able to help. Exactly. Be an open book. I think that open book thing. I mean, John Book can attest to it. Like my life is like an open book. To like you can see through me. I don't have any hidden agenda. I am just there. If you mess up, I tell you. If I mess up, I apologize. I won't say because you are small, or I mean, because maybe I am up there and you are down there. No, no, no. If I do wrong, I will apologize. No airs, like, and that's how life should really work. Life is not simple. Now us they make complicate them sometimes, you know. So I know I've lumped many things together. So to complete the 5 top things that research have shown break marriages, communication is top. If you want to summarize this to one, that it's communication basically, because every other thing is attached to that. Communication. Then you can talk about trust. In fact, I had to encourage one of my mentees to break up a relationship he had been in for 3 or 4 years because it got to a point they couldn't trust themselves again. And I'm like, once trust is lost, forget it. You know, but of course, if you feel that if you are married, right, you have to now go the extra mile to convince your partner that you are trustworthy again. So one thing you don't want to ever do is to not lose that trust. It's extremely important. Don't lose trust. And if you have lost trust, you want to convince the person that, see, that was a mistake and it will not happen again. Then that's trust, right? Communication. Finance is another issue. So having a joint. So for me, I don't like trouble. I don't like money issues. Like, hey, we don't want to buy Maggie. Maggie is 5 naira. Salt is 10 kobo. I don't like that. Maybe this may not work for everybody, but what we agree from day one is my wife is the financial manager. She has access to the account. If she says we want to buy something, I just like, can we afford it? You know what is in the account? Can we afford it? You can see it yourself. The account is yours. Now the problem with that is if you now marry a slave queen, you are going to have issues. If you marry a slave queen and now hand over your account to her, you are done for. So, and that's why one of the most important decisions you can make. In fact, marriage is a financial decision. It's a business decision. So you don't want to marry somebody who does not have a good sense of, does not know, like what, like the Yoruba said, they don't know the tribal mark that money has, right? So you want to, in the first place, you want to make sure you marry somebody who has the kind of values you have. So you can be sure the person can even manage the money better than you in the first place. So, but I'm not saying you should even do that, but do what works in your situation, right? So those are some kind of things I put in place. So communication, finance, of course, another aspect is sex. You know, this sex issue is a big issue, right? Single people will always have sex. Married people, they don't want to have sex. And you will wonder what is happening here. So I know we are going to have a proper discussion around sex along the line, because these are things we shy away from and they keep destroying us. So for single people like out there, everybody just believes so sex is nothing, like you're just catching cruise, you're just having a nice time. No, sex has long-lasting consequences. In fact, research has even shown that people that get sexually intimate before they get married, most of the time their marriages don't last, compared to people that wait till marriage. Of course, it's not still a guarantee that people who don't have sex until marriage divorce, right? But the rates are higher. And you also see that most of the times when you are not married and you're having sex, the women are not here. Most of the time, the women are the receiving end. So men like that, they don't commit. They don't really want to go to wed, because you're already getting all the benefits you should get in marriage. So why should you bother yourself? Getting married properly and all that. So I've talked about communication, trust, finance, unexpected. I think third party is another thing, right? Some people don't know how to handle their in-laws and all that. Or, sometimes I've seen men, you get married and you now hand over your wife to your family. Or women, you get married and you now allow your family to be talking down on your husband. I mean, women are not here, so it is men that are here. One big lesson I got about dealing with in-laws is let everybody face their person, right? In a marriage. So when we got married, if there's going to be any issue involving my mother, I am the one facing my mother. I won't send my wife to go and meet my mother for anything, because I can offend my mother. She will never disown me as a child, right? But if my wife does half of some things, she will look over. It can become a big issue. So that advice was a big deal. So in a marriage, if you have any issue let the person face your mother, face your father, face your family. Don't hand over your wife to your family, and I mean, you should also know this ahead of time. Your wife should not hand you over to her family. So you can be a defense. You can defend your husband in front of it. I mean, your spouse in front of your own family. That's one of the biggest advice I've ever got about handling in-laws. The other, I think, the last thing would be unrealistic expectations. And I think everything still ties down. If you communicate well, everybody knows what to expect, and you can properly communicate that. I guess I'm talking too much because there's a lot of people here. I think Okwe should tell us something about this. Okwe Oluwadeyanji, it's been quite a while. Do you want to tell us something about work-life balance? Is it a realistic thing? Work-life balance, is it really realistic?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone.
Thank
It's
you.
been a while. Hope I'm audible enough.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. My doctor, thank you for this platform.
You're welcome.
I must commend you on the hard work because you're also showing an example of work-life balance by doing all this. I don't know how you're doing it. Maybe you have a virtual assistant or something.
It is well. Thank God for AI and being able to use them efficiently.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank God for that.
Right.
So far the work-life balance, a lot of the moderator has actually said a lot, and also Mr. John earlier, and you've also shared your own point of view about the topic work-life balance. And I must say it's actually is a whole lot of work. It's not as easy as we say, because when it comes down to reality, we realize that we spend more of our life at work. And that's why you see that a lot of elderly ones actually spend their whole time lonely, kind of, because they've given more of their time to their job or their career over the years,
Exactly.
and they were not able to build any form of cordial relationship with probably their children, and their children are start acting like strangers to them. Some they even
Exactly.
get to hear from their children again, because it's only what you invested in sometimes you get
True.
back from. It's more like an emotional bank. That's how
Exactly.
I see it. Yeah, because along the line, sometimes a couple might lose probably his wife, or the wife the husband, and it's what you've invested in your children or other immediate or extended family members that you get to enjoy
Yes.
regardless. So that's why the work is more now for us to get it right now, so that at the end of when we retire and everything, we can enjoy that reward for the work-life balance we've had when we're younger. I don't know if I'm making sense though,
A
but,
lot.
but
A lot.
it's just based on my observation, and I believe it's more of an intentional thing. Yeah, to me, it's always looking like not realistic enough, because I don't know, we have to pay bills and everything. So it's more like
Yes.
our partner needs to understand that we have to pay the sacrifice now. It's just as if we always expect the partner to just know that this is what we are signed on for.
Right.
It's bills or nothing. We just and then we also expect that they should understand by force, especially as men. Most times you always feel like, okay, they should just I think they should understand that we are trying to make ends meet and everything, but it doesn't work like that for female. They want to eat their cake and have it too.
Clear communication.
So
Clear communication really works.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm still coming down to communication though. So I think it's something that
Okay, sure.
is intentional. Like something that we really need to be intentional about, because but I think some people actually have an advantage now, especially when they work from home. It was before
Yes.
that most people go to the office, and I'm also trying to speak from an experience too. Like if
Lovely.
we were seeing that age, if we're still in that age of Monday to Friday, going to the physical facility and all, then I think that was where a lot of our parents and probably grandparents also, got it, why it was harder for or more difficult for them, because now we now have that flexibility to an extent where we can still be working on our laptop and still be communicating and gisting with our partners. And for me personally, I
Yes.
think that's one thing I've been enjoying lately, because sometimes I'll just
It's
like,
so
I'm at
lovely.
home and I'm
Yeah.
working. Yeah, I'm working, and I can take in between to do the dishes and just quickly get back to it. And that's what they want, attention most times.
Exactly.
That feeling that they are not alone and you are present It's not always when you
Yes.
go out on eatery dates and those little things count to them. The fact that they can
Mm-hmm.
share what they are going through or what they're experiencing. And I think our work also plays a role in all this. Not everyone has the
Mm,
privilege to do remote jobs sometimes.
correct.
So that's where we will need to learn now on this platform. And that's why this meeting has been scheduled for the Real Voice Forum. So that those that
Mm,
don't have that privilege, someone that has that is actually experiencing that thing, that's phase now where they will have to go to the physical facilities from Monday to Saturday or Sunday and do
mm,
the 9 to 5, and have actually succeeded in balancing their work life, would be able to give us more and clearer insights. But for someone like we are the younger ones and decided our career path on remote job and are still able to balance work, it's easier now than
mm.
before. You understand?
So
So
you
but
can
I
have
think
a cake and eat it at the same time.
yeah, so I think
Mm,
communication matters too, but self-awareness is very important too. We need to
mm,
know ourselves individually. First of all, we need to know our strengths, our weaknesses very well, and be more truthful to ourselves and not deceive ourselves. We should know and also
mm,
understand. It's when we know ourselves, we can now try and understand others. And communication is one of the biggest issues I think the world is facing right now. I don't know. I've just been
mm,
observing that most leaders, business owners, CEOs, team lead, I don't know if it's a position issue, but I
mm.
believe everyone should learn communication to speak clearly. It's not about the jargon or the grammar or something, but
Right.
we should be able to air our opinions clearly, even to a 5-year-old. And that's where
Mm,
when we can communicate to adults better. And I think one of the problems I've observed is happening everywhere, or with people I've worked with and everything, is communication issue. And even some partners also have that communication. I don't know. I'm not going to generalize, but I think some females expect you to know what they want. They want you to know. Most
mhm.
male are more, male are more open-minded and we easily share
Yes.
sometimes
Well, I
when
mean,
we've
so from my
gotten acquainted.
experience, right, the duty is on you as a husband to tell her, please, I am not a mind reader. If you think I'm not doing something, it's not. It's probably not because I want to be wicked. It's just because maybe I don't know. Just tell me. I think
Mm,
that it's necessary to make that point. They may not know too. They
mm,
just assume that, oh, he's just being a deadbeat husband, or he's just being irresponsible, or he's just being this or that.
mm,
And whereas it's nothing close to that. So they may need to know in clear times, please, if you think I should do something and I'm not doing it, or if you think I should know something, please communicate. Don't just suck it up and be, and be lashing out,
that means we should initiate
Yes,
conversation more, and
seriously.
we should not. We should be proactive about it. That's just the point
Yes.
I've gotten there, and be
Hmm.
intentional. Okay, thank you very much. So I think that's one thing I've observed, and as difficult as it might be, I believe it's possible, and I've been doing it myself personally, and it's
Hmm.
been working so far. Though it's not easy, but you
It
just
can
have
be
to do
easy.
it and make
Short,
sure that
short thing.
it's something that you learn over time and get acquainted with, and before you know it, once you are communicating clearly, I think that's where it even begins. You need to find time to communicate, whether you're
Hmm.
home or you're away. Just find that time to check in
Right.
and
Hmm.
reach out. I think that's what has
Correct.
worked for me, whether I'm home and away. That's my own
Yeah, it's simple. I
suggestion.
love you here and there can make a world of difference. In fact, the simple things matter more than even all the
Yeah,
Mr. B, all the E3. Like simple things, very simple, basic things. I love you. Just
yeah,
one small text like that. I mean, it's
yeah.
this I'm seeing now.
That,
Since it's just we don't have a speaker per se, everybody is going to speak. So everybody, if you think you are going to hire, so start preparing your speech. We are coming for you. So get ready. Two
yeah.
insights I've drawn from what Okwe said, just like what we've been saying before, is number one, right? I think we've also addressed this issue. I mean, there's this common talk. There was this common talk on social media about men. Maybe you've seen it. Men, please take care of yourself. Oh. You spend all the money, you make all the money, you pay school fees. At the end of the day, their mother and things like that. Please, men, take care of yourself, take care of your requirements and things like that. Well, I mean, while those points are valid, right? I think a generation of men have made a mistake to think that all they need to do is provide money. Once you provide money, then all your sins are forgiven. No, it's not enough to provide money. You have to be present physically. I mean, nobody's saying you can even be a soldier and still have that bond with your children. It's just all about intentionality. Now, this it's even sadder that sometimes some fathers are even present physically, but they are not present emotionally. It will still give you the same results. So at the end of the day, many men will now end up very frustrated, like, I mean, I worked hard. I did this just to secure the bag, like they say, and it's more like you people are not appreciating. And we are saying now that dropping money is not enough because you have to be present physically, you have to be present emotionally. If as you hear the horn of your car, they are running into their hiding, it means they are doing a bad job. Then I was starting a point the other time about, you see couples divorcing after 25, 30 years. One of the issues I've identified from my observation, I've not been married for 25 or 30 years. All right. But one thing I've observed is that most times when kids begin to come in, the kids now become the object of attraction. So the woman focuses more on the kid and neglect the husband. The husband focuses on the kids and neglect the wife. You see men buying things for their kids and they don't even care about the goose laying the golden eggs. They don't care about the mother giving birth to the kids. And by the time all the kids are gone, they are gone to university, they have graduated, then it's not only two of them. Now, it's one funny thing about marriage is that the way it starts is the way it ends. It started with only two of you. You are going to end up only two of you because except you don't want your children to advance, right? So all of us want children to grow up and go to Harvard and go to MIT and go to all these big schools and then finish and get job with the best corporations in the world. Like, so at the end of the day, you're going to end up with your wife just like you started. So if you get distracted by the children and focus all your attention on them and don't give your wife the priority, they will go. And by the time they are gone, you see that a wide gap is there. And it will not be like your wife automatic now a stranger. So it was the kids holding things together. So you should hold yourselves together, not the kids holding the family together. So when they go, you just continue your love affair from where it stopped before the kids came. Or if I shouldn't even stop. But the only thing is that when the kids come, it now requires more intentionality. So I think so I'll go for people who have not spoken now. I know you should know I'm coming for you already. A woman who Emmanuel Sewa, my namesake. Over to you. I mean, you have your own experience, and we really like to understand how do you balance your life? How have you been doing it? What do you need to adjust, and so on and so forth? Our barista in the making. Over to you. Is it there? Great. All right. Your voice is sounding distant, and there's some distraction in the background. You could also type if you cannot talk. Yeah, it's quite unclear.
So can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's better.
Balancing my school activities and
It's not as clear as when I said it was better. It's not. It's the voice is sounding like it's you're far away.
what about now, sir?
Yeah, it's better. I hope it remains like this.
Uh, all right, thank you, sir. So, though I've been hearing a lot of people talking about their what is it called their work life, and though I would say as a student, my work life is going to school and doing a whole lot of things, but then it has not been a easy task for me. But then we have been managing everything and we have been going through. But when it comes to managing everything and my work life, because someone like me, I've always loved the fact that I will need to put myself in a lot of things. And recently, the last also election in my school, like, which happens to be one of the most fair, credible, and election ever in the history of the university. We handled the election, though there's a whole lot of pressure on my neck that we are this, we are that, because they saw me as someone that can rig the election due to the past history that some of my senior colleagues have created due to the past history that some of my seniors have created. But then we stood our ground. We said, no, this is not going to happen. And to the glory of God, we came out victoriously. Like we handled this election so perfect well that none none of
It looks like
our
you're
this
having many
thing.
INEC chairman in this group, like David.
So we did something that even the school management were so proud of us, that yes, this they love what we were doing, and we took that glory. But then my school, as a law student, it's not always easy for us. I've
Hmm.
I've always seen that, like, people always say law is this, studying law in the lawless country, all of this. It's not that we are in the lawless country or something like that, but then studying law in Nigeria, especially lasso laws, is it's a difficult task for me. Every day is so hectic, stressful day. Because I can just
Hmm.
prepare my mind that I'm going to the university, getting to the university, won't have the lecture. Then uh I'll just need to find somewhere to, cool down my head, go through my notes before I go back home. And when I go back home, I'll need to engage myself in another things, and the likes of, especially when the local government election is coming around. I want to be involved. I want to participate. I want to be at the forefront. I want to, because a lot of things. Maybe later in the day or later tomorrow, I may just come out that, okay, oh, I want to do this. I want to do that. And recently, I lost my stepmom and a lot of things. I need to go back to my dad. I need to,
This is breaking a lot.
I need to do a lot of things with my dad, because I don't want him to be alone, because my mom did not used to stay with my dad. It had always been my
Hmm.
stepmom. So I need to stay with him. A lot of things like that. But thank God, God has been helping us. Though I won't say this is the way I've been doing it. That okay, well, this is the way I've been doing it too. But I don't just know
Don't
the
you?
way, sir. Hello, sir. Hello. I don't know if
It's
you can
break.
hear
It
me,
was
sir.
breaking a lot.
Hello.
Oh,
Yeah, we're hearing it, and it was breaking a lot.
uh, I don't know. I'm around the, let me say, church vicinity, so that is why I've. Let me just go
So this
inside. If
question on your part, like in all of these things, how are you? Don't you think there are things you should drop, or do you think, or how do you think you can manage everything and still be fine?
yeah. Actually, I've been dropping a whole lot of things. I've told myself that, see, this is how I'm going to manage my life. I'm not putting any pressure on myself again, because I know there's a lot of pressure on me personally. So I've been dropping a whole lot of things. Then I've been focusing on my personal growth, my life,
Interesting.
my career, and when I'm talking about my career, I'm focusing on my faculty only. I'm
Mm,
focusing on how I'm going to improve myself. I'm focusing on how to be a better version of myself, because I realized that multitasking everything together is actually giving a whole lot of pressure and a problem, because I will tell myself that I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, and
mm,
most of the time I don't used to, carry them out perfectly. So I've been dropping everything, just, as a this thing. You can't just, most of the time I will just keep quiet and be looking. Now maybe
mm,
I'm noticed that the man in me is actually coming out, and I'm enjoying this process. I'm enjoying the phase that, okay, so I know he's doing this.
nice.
I'm dropping everything gradually, and since then, and since ever that
Okay.
I've been dropping everything, everything is going perfectly well for me, and I'm be okay with everything. So
Yeah, I mean, it's good to know that you are now checking what doesn't really what you can drop for now. I remember that was one of the there I was JCCF general secretary at some point. I was speaker of the student representative council. The school is very small, by the way, so it's not like any big school. But even at that, right? So I was not speaker. I was clerk of the student representative council. I was general secretary of my fellowship. Now, first, I was general secretary of Joint Campus Christian Fellowship. I would teach my juniors, I would teach my mates. I'll go. Then I had to make money for myself. Like every day of the week, I was teaching at Victoria Island and Ikoyi, like home lessons. So I had all of that going, So I remember when we are leaving, there was this something like a slum book that we're doing by the time we're graduating. I remember somebody wrote there was always on the move. So when I got to FUTA, I just told myself, see, in this FUTA, I'm just going to focus on fellowship and academics. Normally, I like politics, Normally, I should be just like as I was student. I was SRC member from year one in my diploma days, and I was there for 2 years. So when I got to FUTA, I was like, okay, politics, no way. Fellowship and academics, and then maybe whatever I would do to make money to sustain myself. So that time comes, so we need to drop some things for some other things. So, Mr. Moderator, are you available now? Okay.
Hello.
Oh, okay. If you're available, please. I want us. Everybody should talk. Like so far, you have talked. Mr. David has talked. Mr. Magby hasn't spoken. I don't know if he's available now. Mr. Kwe has spoken. Mr. Abumen just did. Then we can go to Charity next. And so please take it off from the moderation. If you're not available, I'll just step in. Thank you.
Okay. Hello, Mr. Charity. Hello. I don't think he's there.
If he's not available, then we go to Florida. Programs lead.
Hello.
Oh, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
I don't know that I have another name now. Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Like, you have actually said a lot, and everybody too have said a lot. Okay, I'm going to share my own experience, maybe my own little perspective. Given the fact that my wife is not currently with me, and looking at the time difference, sometimes it's
Man, that thing can be killing. I've been there for 2 years, man. 26 months. It was crazy.
on its own is a burden, like a stress on its own, because sometimes
Imagine.
to like the time difference, and the time difference it's so crazy in the sense that it is when I actually settle down, maybe okay, after the day work, I went to departments, lectures and things like that. Okay, let me just take something, let me settle down and read. That's when she will actually wake up to call me.
Yeah, and you must attend to your wife. What you go do? Life no
So,
hard now. You want marry?
so, it, like at first, like, and one thing about me is when I settle down to read, like, there is no other thing. Even if you are telling me something, I might actually be listening, but I'm not really in what you are telling me, because
Wow.
I'm in what I'm actually doing. So sometimes, like at first, it was very difficult, like very difficult.
Child.
That it shows in like my response. It shows in my response. So I just had to, okay, you need to calm down and try to look for a way. So like right now, the only thing I've been trying to do that I think I've been doing better and is actually helping is, okay, fine. I just need to tell her that, oh, see, most of the time when you called, that's when I want to read. Okay.
Child.
She now said, okay, no problem. So the thing we now do now is I'll just place my phone, like, okay, just call, she talks. And though most of the time, I just make sure that I can pick a few things from what she's actually saying, except when we have like maybe serious discussion that I will actually put aside what I'm doing and to listen so that I can give full attention. And but maybe she's just talking and we are just gisting. She knows I just place the phone and keep doing another thing. But on the other end too, she's someone that loves attention, like complete attention. So,
Tell me before now.
so she's someone that loves complete attention. But I just need to tell her that okay, fine. You know I want to read. So she'll be like, me, I want full attention. Okay, I'll call you back.
Ehen.
So that way I was actually safe. And I think that also brings me back to the like communication, because
Mm,
communication actually helped me. At first, I was doing like strong head that I can actually do it or something without letting her know, because for me, I think maybe like telling her is like maybe I'm trying to maybe hurt her feelings or things like that.
nah, it
So on
saves
the
you
other
in the
way around, when
mm,
when we actually discussed and I said most of the time that used to call me, that's when I want to read.
say,
You'd be
yeah.
like, and you did not tell me. I was not like, I
You
don't
can
know.
imagine. They don't know too. They need to know. You have to say it.
So
Hmm.
I was like, I don't know. Like, so I think that actually communication helped me, and it's
Mm,
actually helping me right now. So with that, we're able to like, I'm able to manage my,
yeah.
because I won't say I actually have a work. I don't have any work. I'm a student. So that's how I've actually been
Your
managing.
academics is your work. You're on a PhD program. You think so not beans? That one's a pass some work. Oh. So don't even downplay it. It's a big work.
So that has actually been helping me to balance my study life and my family. And also one thing that has also been helping me is I try to I try to know her. Then definitely if you are with someone, then you need to know the person.
Mm,
I try to know when she likes to sleep. Okay, she sleeps around this time and this time. So I make sure
mm.
that okay, even if I want to read, maybe deep reading and things like that, I do it before she actually wakes up. So that
I
when
see
she
your
wakes up,
husband now.
maybe
Try.
maybe when she wakes up, I can do other things like maybe cooking, things that does not need my full attention, so
Right.
that I can actually give her attention. I'll give her that attention, then at the
Mm,
other end, do some other things, maybe like cleaning, laundry, and all those things. So
yeah.
I can do all those things while like at the same time like speaking with her and doing other things. So that has actually helped me as well. So like you need to know the person you're actually with. You need to know what like your family, maybe what their schedule is like. Because
Mm,
like let's assume that it is just ordinary family or something. Yes, I might like okay, I need to read at this time. So maybe I'll call you maybe today and maybe once in every week. But it's not possible. I can't tell her that because I was in every week. It's not possible. So I just need to work around her schedule and things like that. Because most of the time during the day, my own day, definitely that's the night in Nigeria sometimes. And
mm.
my own evening, that's when it is morning in Nigeria. So it is like that. And that is what has actually been helping me to just balance that. So I don't know if what I've said actually makes sense, but
Well, that's so sweet to hear, right? I have an idea. Sometimes when she calls and you think you can't give your full attention, can you also record the call so you can listen to it later when you're more when you can really process things better? If that works, that's just an idea in passing. So record the call and listen to it when you can, or listen to it as many times as possible so you can really pick what she was saying that you might have missed because probably you're not in the perfect frame of mind for the discussion that time.
yeah. Okay,
Maybe
so
that can
thank
help.
you very much. Now.
Yeah. Wow, so lovely. Like what I see here is you see that intentionality. If you are ready to make something work, it will surely work. That's one short thing. No matter how difficult the situation is, all you just need to, because I mean, I've always had this policy too that no matter how hard the problem is, if you can think hard enough, there's always a solution. And we can see that playing out there. Like, managing, it's more like you're living in two time zones. For me, when I was in Nigeria between 2020 and 2022, Kai, it was, I couldn't sleep until I had to sleep at most times I wanted to sleep at 11 p.m. or so, but I couldn't sleep until like 12 a.m. or even later because it is around that 11 that 12 midnight that they are just that's the time they are back at home. No, 12 minus 8, 4. That's like they are 4 p.m. I know, like most times when I'm in school, that's when they are. That's their morning, right? And at night, that's when they are just waking up to go to school. That's when I'm going to sleep. So it's like something else. But somehow we found a way of making it work. So no matter how the situation is, you can always make it work. That's one thing I can infer from this. And we trust God to quickly to speed up the being together, because no matter how hard you try, it's still not the easiest thing to do in this life. Sure thing. So God will continue to sustain both of you, and
Amen. It's not
bridge
easy.
the gap like tomorrow. Yeah, over to moderator. Sorry, I keep the talks are interesting, so I keep just jumping in. I'm so sorry.
All right, sir. I'll be joining the session so far, and there are so many things that actually I can't relate to. I can't relate with right now.
I can imagine, but it's okay.
But it's been awesome. It's been awesome. It's been awesome learning from people from different walks of life.
Yeah.
Actually, from my own end, um, manage work balance is not has not been really. I will not take it as maybe from my own end like something like that, because I live with my immediate family right now, and
Okay.
most people that do ask me, okay, Israel, how far? How are you doing? Maybe like distant family, extended family, and I think that's the only problem I have right now, that not be able to touch with them. But my immediate family, from time to time, I do see them, and then unless when I traveled. And the one thing I noticed is that when I've traveled or when I'm not around, I think I'm kind of bad in calling. There are times that I will be at my location. I may not call them except they call me, and I think that's something to work on. So, uh, so far so good. We talked about communication. Communication is
Yeah,
setting.
there's still Mr. John Bull Vitawano in the house. I know he has
Okay,
plenty to tell us. He's always is he's been doing some intensive stuff.
all right. Mr. Jumbo, we love to hear from you, sir. Uh, he's
Oh,
laughing.
God.
Talk plenty.
Good, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on wherever you are. So
You're
sorry,
good.
like EJ, why are you dragging me? Why are you
Everybody
dragging
they talk
me?
now. Or if you don't want to talk, you can tell us now.
All right, so I won't take much time, right? I'll just share a few. Like
You are
recently,
taking time already. That one, you don't need them. Just talk to talk.
so recently I've been, navigating between many things. Like currently serving in Lagos, and life in Lagos is not that easy. And also, like, I'm a software engineer, so I have to navigate between all these programs and also be responsible for my place of work. Apart from that, myself and Dr. Dansu, we are working on a book at the moment. So we have been doing that together, and just leaving school and trying to manage life is not easy on me. So sometimes I'll ask him, like, how are you doing it? Like, are you using something? But it is sincere, it hasn't been easy. So the only thing I can say is, like, we should just know when to do what, and whenever you have the time to do it, we should just do it. So don't always say, I will do this, I will do this. But anytime you have to do it, just do it. And when you do it, forget you, like, you'll have done it already, and you just forget that, oh, you have done it. So that is all from my end. I don't want to take much time, truly. So let me use the mic. Thank you.
Plenty wisdom in short words. Like I think it boils down to that KPI, like what should I be doing at this time? Am I doing what that thing I should be doing? So at the end of the day, work-life balance is not like, oh, you give 50% to work, you give 50% to life. No, it's like, okay, my wife needs this at this point in time, I do it. My kids need this at this time, I do it. My work needs this, I do it. This needs that, I do it. At the end of the day, everything that needs to be done is done, and then you can sleep a happy man each day, knowing that you have done what you should do. I think that's what it boils down to at the end of the day. That's what I pick from the record breaker of Futa, the highest CGPA so far, Ororo. All right, moderator, I'm back to you.
All right, sir. It says there's still one person that has not yet talked, Mr. Mwagbe.
Maugbe, is he available now? Leader,
Yes,
sir.
sir, I'm available,
Okpel
sir.
is
Please.
available. Okpel.
You are this leader, sir.
Good
And
afternoon,
now you
sir.
be leader, now you are leader, you're doing a great job promoting RBF. Thank you so much.
Thank, thank you, sir. Good afternoon,
Yep.
good morning,
Good
good
afternoon, sir.
evening. Yes. I've been enjoying this session so far, and I really commend everybody that has spoken, please. I just want to add a little, then I will round it up by asking a question because the last part that Doctor talked about and with our program lead, Mr. Ayo. So I need to learn something from that place. So I will ask question. So I just want to talk about this part. When I was still in FUTA, I normally prioritize what I want to do. Then
Mm.
like you know, being a maintenance coordinator, I need to manage something. I need to get to church before any other person. Then we leave the church after everybody have went home. So
Wow.
I normally prioritize what I do. So and during that time, I normally work with my team members, like giving them tasks so that it will not choke me. So I normally do that. Then also anything I want to do, like my habits now. I was reading one book recently. That is Atomic Habits. So in that book, I learned that anything I want to do, I should always make it obvious. So
Mm.
I normally write it down. So maybe it will be on my table. When I wake up, I will just see it. You must do this thing today. So I
Yeah.
make sure I make it obvious so that I will see it then. I make sure that I key into it so that it will become my habit. And during my undergraduate time, like what Mr. Israel said about if I'm in school, calling, I have that issue. I don't used to call like that, except that I have a little, maybe I just, something just come on me and say, oh, just call your parents today. That's when I normally call them. And they
When the grace
normally
of the Lord
call
lands
me,
upon you.
like seriously. So I've been trying to adjust now, even when I'm still with them now. So they normally talk about me coming out because I'm not that kind of person that normally talk. So sometimes I just feel like let me just stay indoor, do some things, and they will not understand. They will just want you to come outside and just be talking. So I've been trying to improve on that one too. So let me now go to my question now. Me now, I'm just like a, let me say, introvert. You understand? So I don't talk too much. In the aspect of you getting married, because there's one notion that says woman like attention, like what they have been discussing so far. Woman like attention, and some of them they talk a lot. When they come back from office or at work, they will just come and pour everything to you. Like, hello, this is what I went through today, this. And you are tired. You don't know how to. So how can you really balance so that you will not have issue in that aspect, sir? So that's my question. I hope you
Yeah.
understand.
How many married men do we have in the house? I'm seeing uh, Mr. Ayodeji, right? Who else is married? Yeah, Mr. Okwe also. Yeah. So
John
please,
Fuke.
no, bail a single man out. I know the answers have been implied already in what they said previously, but I just wanted to address it directly since the question is coming from you now. So who goes first? Let's start with Mr. Okwe. Let's hear your sweet voice again.
uh, okay, can you just repeat the question? Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, in communication now, you know, as a young man, yeah, me like me now, I'm an introvert. I don't like too much talk. I and there's one saying that ladies love attention, and when they come back from office, they will just pour out everything to you, like telling you, this is what I went through, and you are tired, you want to do something. How can you really balance so that there will not be issue in the family when you are tired? You understand? So how can you really balance it up so that you will not have issue with your spouse?
All right. Yeah, I got that question. I think I'm guilty of that too personally.
As another introvert, right?
I'm telling you, I don't talk a lot.
Uh-huh.
I'm this kind of person that just like doing my tasks behind the scenes. My friends are just like a handful, and you know that kind of lifestyle. About JJ, you go your way, you don't talk too much, and so most time I actually tell my wife that I'm tired today. I've had a long day. I actually hear out initially, like when she starts, like, but if it's something that I can't really, I don't want to pretend because there are times
Right.
you might ask you some questions, you should now catch you that you even know that you are not even listening. That's more annoying. It's not
Exactly.
annoying for someone to be telling you a lot of things and downloading all their eventful dates to you, and only for us to just discover after like 15 to 20 minutes that it's just passing here and coming out of here.
What you
But
got
if you are
nothing.
told like if you actually later know that like today was ethic, like it was actually ethic, and I just need to rest. Most time I actually tell my wife that see I need to just eat and rest today. This as I'm like this when I get home. That's if I don't go out. But when I work from home and we have been at home all day, so she can actually see she can read my she knows that
Everything.
I'm not stressed out. And in Lagos,
Right.
I stay in Lagos, Nigeria, and the transiting in Lagos into a work on
Una dey
the
try.
job on it's stressful. It's actually
Hmm.
stressful. So that's why most time I always dread going out. Except I have to really
Imagine.
go out that day. But when I go out and I'm tired, I'm drained like that, I actually let her know ahead of time because once a female gets into that mode of conversation like this, ah, it might sound embarrassing to turn her off.
Don't buy
But when
market.
I get home and I just let her, yeah, and I let her know that I'm extremely tired. When she welcomes me and she knows that okay, I'm not sure you should start this downloading now. Except it's just something that is very important that I need to hear. But it will take time. So that's just my own approach. I don't know if it works for everybody, but that's how I actually do it. So that I don't just get into that trap of letting her start and not listen to what she's saying. And they will always know that you're not even listening. They will know. Even me myself too. When
Exactly.
I'm talking to somebody, I get that. I always look forward to that feedback. And when the person is zoned out, I already know that this person is not in this talk. So I just switch. So equally, I just let the person know ahead that I'm not in for. It's not as if I'm going to sound probably embarrassed. You don't need to tell the person that I don't want to hear again.
Yes.
Just let them know what you
Just
went
to
through that day.
scare.
Man, I had a stressful day. It's not left for that person to use their emotional intelligence to know that okay, this message has been passed. You understand? We are adults. It's children that you tell that you're tired, and children will not want to understand. Children can't understand what you are telling them when you're tired. They want what they
Like,
want.
what are you saying?
You understand what I'm saying? But as an adult, I believe there's a role of emotional intelligence as we get older that we should be able to, understand and manage our emotions, and that's just the way I approach it. Thank you.
Or one aspect of his question is that he's an extrovert, introvert. He doesn't even want to talk in the first place. So how can you help?
As an
How can he?
introvert,
Maybe you
let
should
me
not
now
marry.
address
You
that
should not marry
introverted
Abi.
part. No, you marry, but you marry. Even introvert to marry. But let me tell you something. I think this is where we have a role to play when we are picking partners from. Honestly, if
Hmm.
I'd probably marry someone that is too extroverted in nature, I might have an issue. Honestly, I'm just like trying to be honest here. So my wife is also a little bit, she has a balance of, my own nature too. But as an introvert, you don't like talking. That's the angle I get that question from. You yourself don't even like talking. You
Does
can't
it
get
mean that
married and not talk.
introverts should not
That one
marry
is already there.
extroverts?
That one is already there.
Does it mean introverts should marry
Now,
extroverts?
I'm not saying no. I'm not saying that introvert should not marry extrovert, but you need to understand your partner.
Oh, okay.
Even if you are going to,
Right.
you need to understand your partner. Even if you are going to marry an extrovert, you need to make sure that you understand one another, each other. You must understand yourself and know that okay, this person I need to get to. It's when we are learning about one another. Nobody came from the same background, so everybody will always learn from another person. And
Yeah.
in marriage,
Yeah.
marriage is a lifelong school. So, but I think from his own angle now, he
Mm.
said he doesn't even like talking. That's the thing. I mean, I want to clear your doubts that you will
Yeah.
talk. You will talk. You cannot
By
even
force.
escape this one. So
Or maybe,
there's
or we
no
should just
magic.
send it
I
to,
don't. I will not.
to
I
the
don't.
Reverend Father already.
I don't want to sugarcoat things because me, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't like talking too much. When you get married,
Right.
it's just like a deal you sign without signing. You are signing that deal without signing. That okay, you are in for this. That you will talk. And you don't need to sign it physically, but
Your
you are
voice
already
go open.
signing it when you walk down the aisle and say, "I do." Exactly. Because female needs that attention. They need that communication. They need someone to be there. And it's
Yeah.
not about you just being there in person. No. It's when you communicate with them and you let them know that you are listening, you have that listening ear to them. Females like people that have good listening ear. And one part of communication is listening. I think that's one key part that I think a lot of people
Mm.
don't. Communication is not always about talking, talking, talking. It's about also listening to and giving feedback to let them know that you are following. And it doesn't mean you have to be the one doing more of the talking, but you will communicate, you will talk. Just to let the person know that you are listening and you are understanding what they are saying. That's just my own part. But you will talk. You can't get married and not talk and say you're an introvert. There's no excuse for that too. Thank you.
Mm. Thank you so much. I think the bulk of the trouble, like you would have solved marry an introvert. Good luck about that. Like you never can tell who it will be. But at the end of the day, right? Whatever the person is,
Yes.
the key is to be able to communicate and blend well at the end of the day. And a lot of of troubles can be solved even before the marriage. Like once you can already, you already are into your like you already know you can blend together before marriage, right? That can save you in fact, most marriages that end didn't have to start in the first place. And that is the fact. Because there are some people, no matter how nice they are, no matter how nice I am, we can never cope together because me, I'm too weird for them. Because me, I believe in being practical with things. So if somebody is overtly emotional, they can't cope with me. If if you want me to wake you up with breakfast in bed, of course I can try. But if you always want breakfast in bed, or I want to tell you something, but I will not tell you again, will you beg me so I can tell you? I, I know day for that one, and it doesn't make me. It doesn't mean that that's a good thing, right? So if you like, you can actually like a woman that likes that kind of thing because you can match her energy, like they say. So just make sure you don't marry what you cannot cope with. I think that's where the whole thing starts from. Mr. Ayodiji wants to help us out as an experienced practitioner.
I'm not experienced practitioner. Like I was just trying to buttress what Mr. Okwe said. That
Yes,
one thing I want you to know is it is when you get married that you actually know that
you
you
can
might
talk.
actually be an introvert, but you can talk. Yes, exactly.
Exactly. Uh-huh.
The day you
Nice.
get married that you know that you can actually talk. So
Imagine.
like I'm introvert too. Like I don't like when it comes to you going now. Some like I can actually be in a place like in a particular house if there is stores, food stores and things like that, lights and laptop.
Internet.
I can be here
We just
for
there.
yes, and nobody will know. So I can actually do it perfectly. So and that's one of the things that actually helped me when I move out of Nigeria. So it's actually helped me. It's but with when you are married, you will definitely know that you can actually talk. At first, I'm someone that okay, I when I talk based on the fact that I don't like talking. So when I talk, I just tell you that okay, this. So I assume that you should know the rest. Like I just tell you little things like let me say like summary. So I believe you should know the like you should understand the whole picture because I think maybe that's what is applicable to you too. Because someone that doesn't like talking, when anytime they talk, they just tell you like the summary of everything. Like they don't want to give details, they don't want to talk much, so they just give you summary that okay, this that you should know everything. So that I was actually doing that. There was the day she not that you don't expect me to know everything. Like you are not giving me that. You like telling people summary that how do you expect me to know all this and this? I was like, oh, that's true. So then I actually keep improving and improving and improving. That okay, if I want to say something, sometimes I will give the whole details. Sometimes I'll just give the same summary. But it is when you get married that you actually know that you can talk. So
Mhm.
that's so you talk, don't worry.
Yeah, so don't worry, the talk go the flow naturally, okay? Mr. Magwe.
No
You go
problem.
talk.
Talk. Oh.
Yeah, because if you don't like one idea that came to my mind, like if you don't talk, snake will talk to your wife. So talk, do the talking, so that snake will not go and talk to your wife. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so Mr. Moderator, over to you.
All right, sir. Uh,
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Magbe, just like they said, sir, you talk. It's just that the time is not now. We talk. So far so good. We're able to nail some points during our discussion, and I'll be adding this to it. Procrastination. Yeah, procrastination. You know, after all these points, communication, prioritization. Uh, there are times that it could be a prompt, yes, maybe to call somebody or to reach out to someone. Yeah, we shouldn't procrastinate. We shouldn't procrastinate. It also helps. It also helps. I was talking about my the other side that I don't call, but whenever there is that prompt, I make sure that I call. I make sure I call, and then those people make their feelings know that so since all this day you could remember me, you could do this. So I just call and then maybe do them. So procrastination, you shouldn't procrastinate when there are prompts. And so let me give us an highlight of what we've been able to talk so far for those that are just that are joining late. Number one is prioritization. Prioritization in hierarchy. Doctor nailed that point very well the other side. That is, we should have an hierarchy in relationship. So it will help us to set our priority right. Because if you don't have a hierarchy in relationship, there are times that we won't know which one is urgent, the one which is maybe that doesn't even require our presence, or the one that we just need to assign some delegations or just send some message to. So if you don't have an hierarchy in relationship sometimes, it won't be easy for us to set our priority right. And then another thing is being an open book. Yeah, it's also the same as the communication. Being an open book, let people understand it clearly. Let people understand it clearly. Uh, Mr. Okwe really dealt with that when he was talking. So let people know who you are. People cannot understand us or finish. You are the one that will make your intentions know that okay, oh, this is what you are presently, and this is what you are facing presently. It shouldn't just be like they should understand now. I'm in work. I'm doing my work. I'm doing this. How would they expect me to be doing that? No, we should communicate and communicate our intentions clearly to avoid misunderstanding. To avoid misunderstanding. And then another thing is yes, it's also part of priority. We should not spread ourselves. There should be boundaries. It's when you do have priority that just that I said earlier that you spread yourself, that you'll be available for all the time. You won't know the time to say yes or no. You even know the time to say, okay, this can't be possible, and then I think this should be possible. Then we just give a yes answer to everything. So we should be able to recognize ourselves, that is our ability. Yes, it also depends on our ability, because there are times that when you say yes or no to people, yes to people, and then you are not able to meet it, people will take it as something else, maybe pride or so. But meanwhile, they won't know that you're trying to satisfy them, but due to some things or the other, we're not able to meet such a deadline. Regularly assess and adjust your priorities to maintain balance. That one is also important. And now, doctor was mentioning the other time that men should take care of themselves. I want to say something concerning that. When it's not that men are not taking care of themselves, just as doctor said, it also boils down to a relationship. The society clamoring that men should take them of themselves should also analyze that. Okay, are men prioritizing their relationship with their immediate family or extended family? There is this an elderly family, a friend that I know that he will say that whatever you are doing, make sure you uh, treat your wife very well. Make sure you take care of her when you are still young, because at your later age, you will be the only you will be the only two. That is, whatever you do to her right now, that's what you're also going to receive at that time. So at that point in time, there are families, there are men at their later age that you will see them due to lack of communications, maybe due to when they were young. It's not that they are not taking care of their family, but something was amiss. So when they go out together with their wife, you see their wife traveling to go and meet their children, and then leaving the husband alone for like months and all this, and then the husband will just be left alone, taking care of himself, nobody with him. So the men, in order to take care for themselves, to also prioritize relationship, and for them to prioritize the relationship, they should have an hierarchy. So if they prioritize the relationship, who are the most important people in their lives? They should set it and try to build connections with them. Uh, I don't know if you still have any questions before we round up. I don't know if anyone still has questions.
We have Mr. Abiodun Abidoye. So sorry for keeping you waiting for long. But if you already
Okay.
get what we're talking about, you may want to give us your intervention, sir.
Hello, Mr. Abiodun.
Hello? Sorry, I'm in
Hello.
a very noisy area, so I won't be able to talk. So, but I
No
get
worries.
everything. Right, though I came late. So, but with the summary that someone just gave us now, so I really make me understand like from beginning like what was discussed. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
Mr. Yodeji.
Okay, thank you very much. Like, um, what I want to say is not really maybe a question or because you have actually given us a summary, and I just want to actually appreciate. So I want to appreciate firstly our convener, like uh, our Ogasa. Like, thank you very much, sir, for this platform. We are giving us the platform to actually learn to grow. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you for being a very good leader, and also to the moderator. Thank you very much. Thank you for like having us on this space. So that is what I have to say. Thank you, and thank you to everyone too.
All right, sir. Uh, thank you so much, sir. Uh, is there, is there anyone? Okay. In the absence of none, uh, I want to use this medium to appreciate every one of us present for taking our time to be here. Uh, I hope we all learned so many things. Don't let me say one or two things, because it is more than one or two things. I hope we all learned so many things, and hope to have you back uh, in our next session. And then We are sorry our speaker was not around. Uh, by God's grace, next session on May, it will be with yours, and we will go further on this topic, that is balancing work and relationships. And thank you, Dr. Emmanuel, for this opportunity, for having us around, for taking us through some learning that I don't know, that it would have required some gold or uh, 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 some luxury to learn. Thank you so much, sir. We do not take this for granted.
Always my pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Uh,
I guess okay, yeah. Sorry, please. I thought you had done.
okay, continue, sir.
If you still have something to say, feel free so we can round off.
Okay, I wanted to say, just like we used to do, we should have our camera on.
Session. So if you can oblige us with your beautiful face, feel free to do that. If you can show us your face, we'll be glad to have it. But something is showing on my screen which I don't know how it came on. I need to get it off.
Hi, Dr. Dansu. If you're talking, your mic is muted.
Sorry. Who is taking it so we can know who to hold in case we don't see the pictures? Okay, if you are
I'm actually
taking it,
using. I'm using a phone.
okay, nice. So when you're done, just tell us so we can end the meeting. Thank you. So who are we taking a cue from? Who is it? Okay, let me assume somebody has done what somebody should have done. Hopefully. All right, see you next time. So by May we'll continue with the same topic, and we'll have a speaker by then by God's grace. And thankfully we have some foundations laid, and he's a person of very deep insight, and he's going to give us a whole lot of things to broaden our discussion. So till that time, have a great one and be the best you should be all the time. Bye. See you in the group as we continue our gist.
Bye.
As usual. Bye. Thank you. Yeah.
Bye.
Yep. Bye.